The time machine times the War of the Worlds. What if the time traveler arrived after the Martians won? A complete English what if classic story and production package. Prologue. The wrong future. The time traveler had intended to visit the year 2000. After his first impossible journey into the distant age of the Eloi and Morlocks, he no longer regarded time as a road leading in only one direction. It was a dimension like length, width, or height, and his machine allowed him to move through it. Yet the instrument remained imperfect. The brass dials trembled under his fingers. The ivory levers resisted precise adjustment. Even the smallest movement could carry him decades beyond his intended destination. He therefore selected a modest experiment. 100 years. Far enough to witness the transformation of civilization, but not so far that humanity would become unrecognizable. He sat upon the machine in his laboratory at Richmond and placed one hand on the starting lever. Outside, rain struck the windows. A clock above the fireplace marked 17 minutes past 9. On a nearby table lay the remains of a dinner shared with his skeptical friends. They had departed believing that his earlier adventure had been an elaborate performance. Only the medical man had examined the white flowers brought from the future and admitted that their cellular structure was unlike anything known to modern botany. The time traveler looked once at the familiar room. Then he pushed the lever. Night and day flickered. The laboratory walls became transparent. The sun swept across the sky like a flaming pendulum. Furniture vanished, returned in altered forms, and disappeared again. The house expanded around him, decayed, and was replaced by another building. Years flowed past. He watched London grow. Towers rose in the distance. Railways multiplied. Electric lights covered the city. Roads widened and vehicles moved through them too quickly to distinguish. Then something changed. A green streak crossed the western sky. Another followed. The ground shook. Buildings burned and vanished. The city did not rebuild. The machine slowed. The flickering years became months, then days, then individual hours. The time traveler pulled the lever into its neutral position. The world stopped. He expected Richmond to be transformed by progress. Instead, he found ruins. His laboratory was gone. The machine stood in the remains of a circular chamber open to the sky. Blackened walls rose around it. Metal roots twisted through broken stone. A cold red light covered everything. The time traveler climbed down. A vast growth resembling crimson ivy spread across the ground. It covered the remains of streets, houses, and railway lines. Thick red tendrils hung from shattered walls and disappeared into the Thames. The river itself had narrowed to a dark channel. No carriage moved. No human voice could be heard. In the distance, Westminster Palace stood without its towers. Above it rose 3 enormous metal pylons supporting a black structure shaped like a motionless eye. The time traveler checked the date indicator. The machine had stopped 107 years after his departure. Human civilization should still have existed. A metallic cry rolled across the ruins. Ale. The sound was unlike any voice produced by a living throat. It carried through the dead city, repeated by towers farther away. Ale. The ground began to tremble. Beyond the ruins of Richmond, something rose above the red vegetation. It stood upon 3 jointed legs. Its polished body turned slowly, searching the landscape with a circular glass eye. Long tentacles hung beneath it. One carried a black tube. Another held a metal cage containing several motionless human figures. The time traveler had never seen such a machine, but he recognized its purpose. It was a weapon. The glass eye turned toward him. A green light flashed across its surface. The time traveler ran for his machine. The black tube pointed downward. A beam of invisible heat struck the ruins behind him. Stone glowed red, metal melted, the air exploded with steam. He reached the saddle and seized the lever. A mechanical tentacle shot across the chamber. It wrapped around one of the machine's rear rails. The time traveler pushed the lever forward. The world blurred. For one terrible instant, the Martian machine remained visible around him. Its tentacle stretched into the fourth dimension, pulled by the temporal field. Then it broke apart. The time traveler emerged only 12 minutes into the future. The tripod stood exactly where it had been, but its tentacle had vanished. The machine staggered as though suddenly wounded. The time traveler pushed the lever again. This time, nothing happened. A black device, no larger than a spider, clung to the machine's brass frame. Its legs had penetrated the temporal regulator. The Martians had disabled the time machine. The tripod advanced. Before the time traveler could remove the device, the ground beneath him collapsed. Machine and inventor fell through the red weed into darkness. Chapter 1. The Last People of London. The time traveler regained consciousness underground. A low stone ceiling hung above him. The air smelled of damp earth, smoke, and unwashed bodies. His head rested upon a folded coat. Several human faces watched him from the darkness. They were pale and thin. Their clothing consisted of repaired uniforms, blankets, leather, and pieces of industrial fabric. Some carried knives made from sharpened metal. Others held crude electric lamps. A young woman knelt beside him. She was perhaps 19 years old, although hunger made her appear younger. Her dark hair had been cut short. Around her neck hung a small glass bottle containing a dried white flower. "Can you understand me?" she asked. The language was English, though the pronunciation had changed. "Yes," the time traveler said. "Where is my machine?" The surrounding faces became uncertain. The young woman pointed behind him. The time machine stood in the underground chamber. One rail was bent, but the main structure appeared intact. The black Martian device remained attached to it. "You fell through the roof," she said. "The hunter nearly found you." The tripod. She did not recognize the word. The three-legged machine. "We call them hunters." "Who built them?" "The masters." "Who are the masters?" The young woman looked toward the others, as though deciding whether he was mad. "The Martians." The time traveler sat up too quickly and nearly fainted. He remembered hearing discussions of Mars during his own century. Astronomers had observed its markings and speculated about life upon its surface. No serious scientist believed an invasion possible. "What year is this?" "Year 96 of the occupation." "That is not a date." "It is the only date we have." An elderly man came forward. He wore the remains of a military coat and carried a book wrapped in oilcloth. "You appeared inside a machine," he said. "Where did you come from?" "Richmond." "There is no Richmond." "There was." "When?" The time traveler looked at the Martian device attached to his invention. "Before the occupation." The old man opened the book. Its damaged pages contained handwritten dates, maps, and fragments of newspaper articles. "The first cylinders fell in the final years of the 19th century, he said. "The old records disagree about the exact calendar. The Martians crossed the country in their fighting machines. London fell within days." "Did they suffer from disease?" The old man stared at him. "What disease?" "Bacteria. Organisms too small to see. The Martians should have possessed no immunity to earthly infection." Then someone warned them. The words came from the young woman. The time traveler turned toward her. "What is your name?" "Weena." He felt a chill, unrelated to the cold chamber. In the remote future he had once visited, he had known another young woman by that name. She had been one of the Eloi, the gentle descendants of humanity who lived above the underground Morlocks. This Weena was different. Her hands bore scars, a crude weapon hung from her belt. Intelligence sharpened her expression. Yet she wore the same kind of white flower. "Where did you get that?" he asked. She touched the bottle. "It has been passed through my family. The flower no longer grows." "Why is your name Weena?" "It is the name of the woman who began our line." The time traveler could not answer. Time was not merely a sequence of events. It was a garden of branching possibilities. Perhaps the future he had visited had left echoes in this one. Perhaps his own presence had planted the name long before its origin. Or perhaps the universe enjoyed cruel coincidences. A metallic cry sounded above them. Everyone became silent. Dust fell from the ceiling. A green line moved across a crack in the stone. "The hunter is scanning," Weena whispered. The survivors extinguished their lamps. The time traveler listened to the tripod walk over the ruins. Each step produced a vibration that traveled through the tunnel. The machine stopped directly above them. A low mechanical pulse entered the chamber. The black device attached to the time machine began to glow. "It can detect us," the time traveler said. He seized a hammer from the floor and struck the device. A spark burned his hand. The Martian machine above released another cry. Weena drew her knife. "Break it!" The time traveler struck again. One of the device's metal legs came loose, but 3 others tightened around the regulator. "It is connected to the machine's field. If I damage it carelessly, the entire mechanism may become useless. If you do nothing, we die carefully instead." The ceiling cracked. A tentacle forced its way through the stones. The survivors scattered. The time traveler pulled a brass panel from the machine and cut 2 internal wires. The black device flashed. The tentacle stopped. Then it struck blindly through the chamber. A man was caught around the waist and dragged upward. His scream ended when the ceiling collapsed behind him. Weena pushed the time traveler toward a narrow passage. "Leave the machine." "I cannot. It is only metal." "No, it may be the last escape available to your entire world." Together, they pushed the time machine toward the passage. 2 survivors helped them. The machine's small wheels struck every crack in the floor while the tripod tore apart the chamber behind them. They entered an abandoned railway tunnel. The young woman pulled a lever, releasing a wagon filled with stones. It rolled down the track and struck an old support beam. The tunnel collapsed. A cloud of dust and red roots buried the entrance. For several minutes, no one spoke. At last, the elderly man opened his book again. "If you truly came from before the occupation," he said, "then perhaps the archive was waiting for you." "What archive?" "The place where the Martians keep the history of their victory." Weena raised her lamp. "And the history of yours." Chapter 2. The Martian Archive. The survivors had built their settlement inside the lowest tunnels of the London Underground. Stations had become sleeping chambers. Railway carriages served as walls. Water flowed through filtration systems assembled from pre-invasion machinery. Mushrooms grew in the darkness, providing food when raids upon the surface failed. Children were taught never to cry loudly. Fire was permitted only beneath sealed chimneys. Every month, Martian machines released black smoke into selected tunnels. The survivors moved constantly to avoid detection. Humanity had not vanished. It had become an animal living beneath its conqueror's floor. Weena guided the time traveler through the settlement. Along one wall, artists had painted the history of the invasion. Cylinders fell from Mars. 3-legged machines crossed England. Black smoke killed soldiers. Red weed covered the rivers. The final images showed men and women descending underground, while enormous Martian towers rose above London. "Why did they keep humans alive?" he asked. "Blood," Weena said. He remembered the cages beneath the tripod. "The Martians feed upon it." They did at first. Later they learned to produce what they needed in their machines. Some humans repair the machines. Some work in the farms. The rest of us are hunted. "Why have they not destroyed you completely?" "Perhaps they enjoy hunting." The elderly man introduced himself as Ames. He had inherited the settlement's collection of forbidden knowledge. From his oilcloth book, he removed a brittle newspaper page. The headline described luminous explosion observed upon Mars. Another fragment reported the fall of a cylinder at Horsell Common. A third contained the testimony of an unnamed writer who had survived the first days of the invasion. The time traveler recognized references to artillery positions, a ruined train, and the destruction of a Martian machine near Shepperton. "This man understood what happened," he said. "He survived until the fall of London," Ames replied. "Then he disappeared." The oldest documents suggested that the Martians had expected Earth's microorganisms. Their machines carried sterile chambers, sealed feeding systems, and chemical agents designed to destroy bacteria. That knowledge should have been impossible. "The archive may explain it," Ames said. The archive stood in what had once been central London. The Martians stored records there, not books, but patterns of light and magnetic impulses held within crystalline machines. Human laborers had seen images of the invasion projected inside its chambers. Weena had entered it once through a drainage tunnel. "There was a picture of your machine," she said. "You are certain?" "A seat, 2 levers, rails, a metal frame, and a clock with no hands." The time traveler looked toward his invention. The Martians knew of the time machine before it appeared in their world. That meant the black device was not an improvised weapon. They had expected him. By the following night, he had removed the device from the temporal regulator. He could not destroy it, so he sealed it inside a lead container. The machine's controls worked again, but the bent rail made immediate travel dangerous. He needed tools from the archive. Weena insisted upon guiding him. They reached the surface through a ventilation shaft before sunrise. The red weed had grown into forests, its enormous leaves folded against the cold sky. Strange Martian insects moved among its roots, each protected by a transparent shell. The ruins of London lay beneath the vegetation. They traveled through empty buildings while searchlights passed overhead. At Trafalgar Square, a tripod stood motionless among the statues. Human workers climbed ladders along its legs, replacing metal plates under Martian supervision. The Martians themselves remained within sealed vehicles. Through a glass window, the time traveler glimpsed a gray body with a large head, dark eyes, and numerous tentacles. The creature had almost no body as humans understood it. It was brain and hand, intellect freed from the burden of muscle. The time traveler wondered whether the distant future might transform humanity into something similar. The archive occupied the remains of the British Museum. Martian metal covered the classical columns. Tubes emerged from the roof and carried red fluid toward a central tower. Weena found the drainage opening. Inside, they crawled through warm pipes until they reached a chamber filled with crystal columns. Light moved within them like trapped lightning. The time traveler touched one. Images appeared in the air. Mars filled the chamber. He saw deserts, dark canals, and cities beneath transparent domes. Dust storms consumed the horizon. The polar ice shrank year after year. Towers failed. The Martian population declined. Then the image changed. Earth appeared blue, wet, and alive. The Martians watched humanity through telescopes. They observed armies, factories, and crowded cities. They calculated that Earth's gravity would burden their bodies, but machines could carry them. They prepared the cylinders. Then, shortly before launching the invasion, a signal arrived. It did not come from Earth in ordinary space. It came through time. The crystals showed patterns of microscopic life, bacteria, viruses, and spores. They showed Martian bodies dying after exposure. They provided designs for filters, antiseptic systems, and chemical immunity treatments. Finally, the image of the time machine appeared. The time traveler stepped backward. Weena watched the floating mechanism rotate above them. "You warned them," she said. "No. It is your machine. I never sent this information. Perhaps you have not sent it yet." The terrible possibility settled between them. The signal originated from the conquered future. The Martians of this age had transmitted the warning to their ancestors, yet they had developed temporal communication only after studying energy from the time machine. His arrival had given them the means to create the history he had witnessed. The future had caused its own past. A closed circle. A Martian voice filled the chamber. The time traveler could not understand the sounds, but a mechanical translator produced English words. Temporal organism identified. Metal doors closed over the drainage tunnel. Weena drew her knife. A glass container descended from the ceiling. Inside floated a Martian larger than the others, its eyes fixed upon the time traveler. "You have arrived," the translated voice said. "You were expecting me. We remember your arrival." "That is impossible. Your definition of possibility is temporary." Mechanical arms extended from the walls. The time traveler removed the lead container holding the black device. It began to pulse. The Martians had allowed him to take it. It was not merely a tracker. It was a bridge connecting his machine to the archive. The Martians had needed him to carry it through time. He threw the container between two crystal columns. The pulse disrupted the projected images. Weena struck a nearby control surface. Light exploded across the chamber. The time traveler seized a cutting tool and a coil of Martian wire. They escaped through a maintenance opening as mechanical arms shattered the floor behind them. On the museum steps, tripods turned toward them. The pair ran into the red forest. A heat ray struck the archive's entrance, not to kill them, but to seal their route back inside. The time traveler understood the gesture. The Martians were not afraid he would escape. They were counting on it. Chapter 3. Before the cylinders. The stolen Martian tool repaired the time machine's damaged rail. The black device remained sealed in its lead container. The time traveler knew it would become active once the machine entered the temporal dimension, but leaving it behind might not break the causal circle. The Martians had built their victory around his movements. To defeat them, he would have to travel where they wanted him to go and change what happened when he arrived. Weena stood beside the machine in the abandoned station. "If you return to the beginning, this world will disappear," she said. "Yes, and everyone in it." "I do not know." "You do know." The time traveler looked at the survivors gathered on the platform. If history changed, none of them would be born as they had been. Their suffering would vanish, but so would their lives, memories, and relationships. Ames placed the book of human records in Weena's hands. "A world should not continue merely because we are frightened to lose it," he said. "That is easy for an old man to say. It is why an old man must say it." The time traveler adjusted the controls. "I can take one passenger safely, perhaps two, but the additional mass would make precision difficult." Weena climbed onto the machine. He hesitated. "You may not survive the correction." I will not survive here for long. That does not make the decision simple. No, it makes it mine. The time traveler activated the machine. The underground station became transparent. Days reversed around them. Red vegetation withdrew into the earth. Buildings rose from their ruins. Martian towers vanished downward. Tripods walked backward across London. Weena clung to the brass frame. The black device pulsed inside its container. The machine resisted. Something pulled from the future, attempting to hold them in the conquered age. The time traveler increased the speed. The red world dissolved. London rebuilt itself in reverse. Smoke withdrew into factory chimneys. Motorcars disappeared and horses returned to the streets. The machine stopped violently. Sunlight blinded them. They stood near a sandpit surrounded by trees and open country. The air smelled of pine rather than Martian chemicals. A crowd had gathered at the edge of an enormous crater. Men discussed the object buried inside it, a metal cylinder that had fallen from the sky during the night. Horsel Common, the time traveler whispered. They had arrived on the day the first Martian cylinder opened. Weena stared at the green landscape. She touched the grass as though it were an impossible luxury. So much life, she said. A man approached them from the direction of the crowd. He carried a notebook and wore the clothes of a late 19th century gentleman. "What is that machine?" he asked. "A failed experiment," the time traveler said. The stranger glanced at Weena's clothing and the metal device. "It seems a remarkably elaborate failure." The time traveler noticed the notebook. "You are a journalist, a philosophical writer, when anyone will publish me. Today I appear to be a reporter of fallen stars." The time traveler realized this might be the unnamed writer, whose damaged testimony survived in Ames's collection. "We must speak privately." A cry came from the sandpit. The circular lid of the cylinder was turning. The crowd pressed closer. The journalist looked toward it. "Surely this can wait." "No," said Weena, "nothing can." The lid fell aside. A gray Martian rose from the cylinder. People recoiled from its glistening body and enormous eyes. Several men approached carrying a white flag. A machine inside the pit lifted a polished mirror. The heat tray ignited. Light swept across the common. Men became fire. Trees exploded. The journalist, Weena, and the time traveler threw themselves behind the time machine as heat passed above them. Brass fittings grew painfully hot. The crowd fled in every direction. The Martians had arrived. But the invasion was not unfolding as history recorded. From the cylinder emerged a second machine shaped like a black flower. Its petals opened and released a cloud of silver particles. The time traveler recognized the equipment. "It is a sterilizer." The particles settled over the Martians, their instruments, and the ground around the cylinder. Every earthly microorganism entering the pit would be destroyed. The future warning had already reached them. Weena pointed toward the cylinder. A symbol had been carved into its surface. It matched the black device hidden in the time machine. The Martians knew he was present. The journalist stared at him. "You expected this?" "Yes." "How?" "Because I have seen what happens when they win." Chapter 4. The first days of the end. They hid the time machine inside an abandoned shed and traveled toward walking. The time traveler explained as much as he could. The journalist listened without interruption, though disbelief appeared repeatedly upon his face. Weena's knowledge of the Martians made denial increasingly difficult. She described the tripods before they had been assembled. She predicted the use of black smoke. She knew that the red weed would grow quickly in water and block rivers. "You expect me to believe she comes from the future?" the journalist asked. She comes from one future. How many are there? As many as the choices capable of creating them. The journalist looked back toward the smoke rising from Horsell Common. And in hers. London is dead, Weena said. The survivors live underground. The journalist closed his notebook. Then we must warn the government. We will, said the time traveler. They will not believe us. He was correct. A local official regarded their story as panic. A military officer listened only because the journalist claimed to possess information about the Martian weapon. The army will contain the cylinder, the officer said. Artillery is already moving into position. The Martians know where your batteries will be placed, the time traveler replied. How? Because they have records from the future. The officer stood. I have heard enough. Move the guns from the hill near Byfleet. Do not concentrate them beside the road. The third fighting machine will destroy them before sunset. There are no fighting machines. There will be. The officer ordered them to leave. By evening, the third tripod destroyed the artillery near Byfleet exactly as predicted. The invasion expanded more rapidly than before. In the original history, the Martians had moved cautiously while assembling their machines. Now they possessed detailed maps of human defenses and settlements. They attacked telegraph lines first, then railways, water stations, and military depots. They avoided mistakes recorded in the conquered future. Refugees crowded every road toward London. The time traveler needed to reach his Richmond laboratory. He believed the black device could be connected to the machine's controls and used to follow the Martian temporal signal to its source. If they destroyed the source before it transmitted the microbial warning, the original invasion might be restored. The journalist objected. You intend to ensure that disease kills them? Yes. Then we are not preventing the invasion. We are allowing it to proceed until nature saves us. I cannot remove the cylinders from Mars. You possess a machine capable of reaching the past. And if I travel to ancient Mars and destroy their civilization before it can threaten Earth, what would that make me? A defender of humanity. A murderer of a world. Weena walked ahead of them. You are arguing about which future deserves to live, she said. In my time, the Martians already answered that question. A metallic horn sounded across the fields. 3 tripods appeared beyond the trees. The refugees screamed. The machines did not immediately fire. Their glass eyes scanned the roads, searching. They want the machine, the time traveler said. The black device was broadcasting again. They reached the shed and uncovered the invention. The time traveler opened the lead container. The black mechanism unfolded like a spider awakening from sleep. Its central light pointed east. Toward London, said the journalist. No, toward a moment in London. The device emitted pulses too slow for ordinary communication. When connected to the time machine's regulator, however, the pulses aligned with temporal coordinates. The source existed 3 days in the future. It was moving backward toward them. The Martians were preparing to send their warning signal from occupied London to Mars before the cylinders were launched. The time traveler adjusted the controls. I can take us forward to the transmission. And leave everyone here to die, the journalist asked. If we succeed, these events will be rewritten. That is a convenient kind of courage. You never have to witness the people you abandon. The heat ray struck the trees. Flames surrounded the shed. There is no time, said Weena. They climbed onto the machine. The time traveler pulled the lever. The shed vanished. For several seconds, they traveled through flickering darkness. Then something struck the temporal field. A Martian tripod appeared beside them, not fully present but stretched across time like a black shadow. The Martians had used the tracking device to attach their machine to the time traveler's passage. A mechanical tentacle entered the field. It wrapped around the rear rail. The machine slowed. The time traveler pushed the lever forward, but the tripod moved with them. Its legs flickered through forests, houses, and crowds. The heat ray began to glow. Weena climbed across the frame. "What are you doing?" the time traveler shouted. "Cutting the line." She reached the rear rail and struck the tentacle with the Martian tool. The metal split. The tripod fell out of the temporal field. It materialized between moments. For an instant, it stood in London before the invasion had begun. Then it appeared in the occupied city. Finally, it vanished into a future so distant that the earth beneath it no longer existed. The time machine emerged inside a ruined railway station. Outside, London burned. The Martians had reached the capital 3 days earlier than history intended. Chapter 5. The Fall of London. Black smoke moved between the buildings. The Thames was crowded with abandoned vessels. Fires burned from Kensington to the eastern docks. Bells rang without coordination, and the streets echoed with refugees. The time traveler, Weena, and the journalist emerged near South Kensington. The journalist stared at the destruction. "This happened in 3 days. In my world, it lasted much longer," Weena said. A tripod crossed the end of the street. Its feet crushed empty carriages. A cage beneath its body held prisoners. The 3 travelers entered a museum through a broken window. From the upper floor, they watched the Martian machines surround central London. At their center stood a tower under construction. The journalist recognized its location: the Houses of Parliament. The time traveler examined the black device. "The signal will be transmitted from there." "Why London?" "Because the Martians require energy. They are combining their technology with human electrical and telegraph systems." The journalist opened his notebook. "If we fail, will anyone remember this version of events?" "No." "Then history is a story written by survivors who may never exist." He tore out several pages and placed them inside his coat. They crossed the city through service tunnels and partially collapsed streets. Near Hyde Park, they encountered an artilleryman gathering supplies. He spoke excitedly of building a new human civilization underground. He claimed that the Martians would eventually become careless, allowing strong men to seize their machines. Weena listened with visible discomfort. The man's dream resembled the world she had left: humans beneath the ground, surviving while the Martians ruled above. "You should come with us," the journalist told him. "To Westminster. You will be cooked before you reach the river. We may be able to end this." The artilleryman laughed. "End it? The old world has ended. Men like us must begin another." "Men like you have not begun digging." The artilleryman's expression hardened. They left him to his plans. At sunset, red weed began emerging from the river. In Weena's history, it covered London for nearly a century. Now she watched its first tendrils climb from the water. She touched one of its leaves. The plant curled around her glove. "We burn this for heat," she said. "Children learn to walk beneath forests of it." "If we succeed, those children will not exist," the time traveler replied. "I know. I cannot promise that you will remain." "I know that too." "Then why help me?" Weena released the leaf. "Because our suffering does not give us the right to demand that it continue." They reached Westminster after midnight. The Martian tower had been completed. Electrical cables ran from captured generating stations into its base. At the top, a rotating structure opened toward the sky. Green flashes moved across it. The time traveler checked the device. "Transmission begins in 27 minutes." The tower was surrounded by handling machines, tripods, and human prisoners. The journalist pointed toward a drainage opening beside the river. The sewers may pass beneath it. They entered the black water. The tunnel led to a chamber beneath Parliament. Martian machinery had penetrated the ceiling. Thick tubes pulsed with energy. At the chamber's center stood a crystal structure like the one in the future archive. The time traveler connected the black device to it. Images appeared. He saw Mars before the invasion. Cylinders waited inside enormous cannons. The Martians knew Earth possessed life, but they did not understand its invisible biological dangers. Then the image shifted to conquered London. A future Martian attached the temporal device to the time machine. The time traveler finally understood the entire design. The Martians had never intended merely to study his arrival. They had engineered the circumstances that brought him to the archive. They allowed him to escape with the tracker because he would carry it into the past. The device in his hands was both receiver and transmitter. It would send the warning. "We brought it here," he said. The journalist understood. "Then destroy it. If I destroy it now, the warning may already be encoded within the temporal field. How do we remove it? We must enter the signal." Weena looked at the machine. "You mean travel along it?" "Yes." A voice entered the chamber. "Correct." The Martian translator spoke from every surface. The large Martian from the archive appeared inside a sealed vessel above them. Though they had last seen it a century in the future, it now existed through information carried backward in time. Its consciousness occupied the crystal network. "You complete the circuit," it said. The journalist raised a captured pistol. "You expect us to surrender. Your actions are already part of our victory." The time traveler looked at the countdown. 12 minutes remained. "What do you want from Earth?" he asked. "Survival." "You could have communicated." "Communication does not create water." "You could have shared knowledge." "Sharing requires equal need. Mars possesses need. Earth possesses abundance. So abundance justifies conquest. Humans apply this principle to every species beneath them." The time traveler could offer no simple denial. Human civilization consumed animals, forests, and weaker nations. The Martians regarded humanity as humanity regarded cattle, intelligent enough to be useful, but not equal enough to possess rights. The Martian continued, "Give us the time machine. Selected human populations will survive. I have seen your selected populations. They survive. Survival without freedom is a prolonged extinction." The machine's countdown reached 10 minutes. The Martian vessel opened. Metal tentacles unfolded. "Then your extinction will be brief." Chapter 6. The Bargain of Two Worlds. The journalist fired. The bullet struck the glass vessel and flattened against it. A handling machine lunged toward him. Weena cut one of its jointed arms with the Martian tool. The arm fell, releasing sparks. The time traveler pushed the starting lever halfway forward. The chamber became unstable. Walls flickered between construction, ruin, and Martian occupation. The attacking machine appeared in several positions at once. "Get on," he shouted. The journalist and Weena climbed onto the frame. The Martian vessel extended a tentacle and wrapped it around the forward rail. The time traveler pulled the lever fully. They entered the temporal field. The Westminster chamber disappeared. Around them stretched a tunnel of changing light. At one end waited Mars before the invasion. At the other stood the conquered future. The signal traveled between them as a chain of green pulses. The Martian consciousness remained attached to the machine. "You cannot remove the warning," it said. Its receipt caused the future from which it was sent. A causal loop, the time traveler replied, no beginning and no end. Therefore it cannot be broken. Every machine has a point of failure. Time is not a machine. No, but your signal is. He altered the machine's direction. Instead of moving toward the past or future, they traveled sideways across probability. Possible histories appeared around them. In one, the Martian cylinders exploded during launch. In another, humanity destroyed the first cylinder and used its technology to conquer nations across Earth. In another, the Martians communicated peacefully, but human governments attacked them out of fear. They saw a future in which Earth and Mars exchanged knowledge. Human cities stood beneath Martian domes. Water flowed through restored canals. Neither species ruled the other. The vision lasted only a moment. Weena reached toward it. Can we go there? I do not know. Select that world, said the journalist. Time is not a book from which one may choose a preferred ending. That future requires millions of decisions we have not made. The Martian consciousness examined the same possibility. Coexistence probability, insufficient. Insufficient is not impossible, the journalist said. Mars cannot risk extinction upon human compassion. And Earth cannot risk slavery upon Martian restraint. The green pulses intensified. The signal was nearing completion. The time traveler opened the temporal regulator. Inside, brass wheels rotated around a crystal taken from the future archive. If I reverse the crystal's polarity, the signal will collapse. What happens to us? Weena asked. We may be thrown into our original times. And my future? It will lose the information that created it. Then it disappears. Yes. The time traveler's hand hovered above the crystal. He could not move. Weena looked at the possible histories around them. For her, they were not abstractions. Somewhere behind them existed Ames, the underground children, the railway settlement, and every person who had survived 96 years of occupation. They had known fear, hunger, and loss. They had also known one another. Erasing their world would not simply prevent suffering. It would declare that their lives were an error to be corrected. The Martian voice softened through the translator. Weena. She turned. Your companions define your world as undesirable. We created the conditions of your birth. Preserve the signal, and you preserve your people. The time traveler recognized the cruelty of the argument because it contained truth. The Martian continued. Help US control the machine. Your history will remain. Humans will survive under order. Do not listen, said the journalist. Why not? Weena asked. Your history survives either way. I am asking you to save people who have not yet been born. By killing those who have. The journalist lowered his eyes. The time traveler said, no one else can make this decision for you. Weena approached the regulator. My mother died hiding me from a hunter, she said. Ames lost 3 sons in the labor farms. Children in our tunnels speak quietly before they understand why. We survived, but survival became the only thing we were permitted to do. She touched the crystal. If I preserve that world because I fear death, then the Martians still choose our future. The Martian tentacle tightened around the machine. You will cease. So will your victory. Weena reversed the crystal. Green light exploded. The signal broke. The Martian consciousness screamed through every mechanical language at once. The temporal tunnel fractured. The time traveler saw Mars without the warning. The cylinders launched without biological protection. The invasion unfolded through countless variations. In most, the Martians conquered armies and burned cities. Then they weakened. They died in fields, streets, and machines, defeated by organisms too small for their intelligence to perceive. The conquered future began to dissolve. Weena became transparent. The time traveler seized her hand. "No." She smiled sadly. "You said you could not promise. I may be able to hold you within the machine's field. Then what happens when I leave it?" He had no answer. The journalist turned the remaining control wheel, trying to stabilize the machine. The Martian tentacle detached from the rail and wrapped around Weena. "If our future ends," the voice said, "so does she." The time traveler struck it with the cutting tool. The tentacle split, releasing a shower of green sparks. The machine spun out of control. Mars, London, and the conquered future merged around them. The time traveler saw the underground station one last time. Ames stood on the platform, looking directly toward them as if he could see across time. He raised one hand. Then the station vanished. Weena's fingers slipped through the time traveler's grasp. Her body became light. The glass bottle around her neck fell onto the machine. Inside it, the white flower remained. Weena disappeared. The time traveler screamed her name. The signal collapsed. Time became dark. Chapter 7. The War Restored. The time machine crashed into a field. The time traveler was thrown from the saddle. The journalist landed several yards away. Rain fell heavily upon them. For a moment, neither knew when they had arrived. Then they heard artillery. The sky above London glowed red. The time traveler checked the date indicator. They had returned to the original invasion, several days after the cylinder opened. The time machine was badly damaged. The temporal crystal had cracked, and one lever was missing. Weena's glass bottle lay beneath the saddle. The journalist picked it up. "Is she gone?" The time traveler could not answer. A tripod appeared beyond the hill. It moved unsteadily. No sterilizing silver cloud surrounded it. Black stains covered its metal body. One tentacle dragged along the ground. The machine released a weak cry. "Ale." Another answered from farther away. "Ale." The Martians were dying. The original history had returned. Yet the war was not over. The damaged tripod saw them. Its heat ray turned toward the field. The time traveler and the journalist dragged the machine behind a stone wall. The heat ray passed overhead, igniting the trees. A second tripod emerged near the river. It attacked the first. The dying Martians had lost coordination. Their machines moved like wounded giants, confused by fever and pain. The two tripods collided. One fell into the water. The journalist looked toward London. "I must find my wife." "Where did you last see her?" "Leatherhead, before the roads were cut." The time traveler looked at his damaged machine. With the correct repairs, it might still carry one person a short distance through time. He could send the journalist backward several days before the invasion separated them. But further interference might create another altered future. The journalist seemed to understand his hesitation. "You have seen what happens when time is used to correct grief." "Yes." "And yet you still wish to correct mine." "Yes." "Then perhaps the machine has taught you less than you imagine." They traveled on foot. The countryside was filled with abandoned homes and dead Martians. Crows gathered upon the motionless fighting machines. The red weed already withered in places where rainwater carried earthly bacteria through it. They found a Martian outside an overturned handling machine. Without its mechanical supports, the creature could barely move. Its tentacles reached weakly toward the wet earth. The journalist raised a stone. The time traveler stopped him. "It is dying. So are thousands because of it. That will not make the stone necessary." The journalist lowered his arm. They watched the Martian's dark eyes. For a moment, the time traveler imagined what it saw. A cold alien world filled with hostile organisms, beneath a sky too bright and gravity too strong. It had crossed the void to escape a dying planet, only to die upon the world it meant to steal. There was tragedy in it. But tragedy did not erase the cages hanging beneath the tripods. The Martians' tentacles became still. They continued toward London. The city appeared deserted, but human life slowly emerged. A man crossed a street carrying water. A woman called from an upper window. Soldiers inspected fallen machines. Church bells began to ring. The Martians had defeated every army placed before them. Then the smallest inhabitants of Earth had killed them. The journalist found his wife alive 2 days later. Their reunion occurred at a damaged railway station. The time traveler watched from a distance. He felt like an observer at the window of a life that still possessed a future. The journalist returned to him before departing. "What will you do?" "Repair the machine. And then travel to the future." "Yes, to see whether we survive. To see whether survival is enough." The journalist handed him his notebook. The pages described both invasions, the accelerated conquest that no longer existed, and the restored war that humanity remembered. "You should keep it," he said. "No one will believe me." They did not believe me either. "Will you tell them about Weena?" "Yes. Then she will have existed in at least one history." The time traveler returned to Richmond. His house remained damaged but standing. His servants had fled. The laboratory windows were broken and dust covered the dinner table. The clock above the fireplace had stopped. He placed the white flower beside the 2 flowers brought from his first journey. They were almost identical. The resemblance disturbed him more than any Martian machine. Perhaps the 2 Weenas had been the same person expressed by different futures. Perhaps time resisted complete erasure. Or perhaps love and memory created patterns that history repeated under different names. He began repairing the time machine. Chapter 8. 2 Flowers. Several weeks after the war, the time traveler invited his friends to dinner. The medical man came first, followed by the psychologist, the editor, and several others who had witnessed his earlier demonstration. The journalist attended as well. London was rebuilding. Newspapers debated the origin of the Martians. Scientists examined the fallen machines. Governments spoke of preparing defenses against a second invasion. Humanity had survived, and immediately began considering how Martian weapons might be used against other humans. The time traveler listened to the conversation with increasing despair. "The heat ray could end war," said the editor. "By making it too terrible?" the journalist asked. "Exactly. Every new weapon has been introduced with that promise." The medical man examined the flower in the glass bottle. "This specimen is similar to the ones you showed us before, but not identical." "How does it differ?" asked the time traveler. "The original flowers appear adapted to a warm, low-effort environment. This one has stronger fibers and a more developed root structure. It grew under difficult conditions." "Yes," the time traveler said, "it did." The psychologist looked toward the repaired machine. "You claim that a future can vanish while an object from it remains." "Not vanish, become inaccessible from the history we occupy." That sounds like a distinction invented to avoid saying vanish. Most scientific distinctions begin that way. The time traveler told them the complete story. He described the conquered London, the archive, the temporal warning, and Weena's choice. He showed them the Martian device, now lifeless, and the journalist confirmed everything he had witnessed. When the account ended, the room was silent. The medical man turned the bottle in his hands. If her future never occurred, how can the flower exist? Because it traveled inside the machine's temporal field. Then why did she not remain? The time traveler looked at the flower. I do not know. Perhaps living consciousness is more deeply connected to its history than dead matter. Perhaps the signal took her. Perhaps she exists somewhere outside the sequence we call time. Or perhaps, said the editor, your story is a grief-stricken fantasy created after the invasion. The journalist opened his notebook. He read several lines describing the Martian tower at Westminster, the altered sterilizing machines, and the underground survivor named Ames. The ink on the pages began to fade. Everyone watched. Sentences disappeared one by one. Descriptions of the conquered future vanished first. Then the pages concerning Weena became blank. Within minutes, only the account of the restored invasion remained. The journalist closed the notebook. Memory is now the only evidence, he said. No, replied the medical man. He held up the glass bottle. The flower remains. Later that night, after the guests had departed, the time traveler entered his laboratory. He placed supplies on the machine: food, water, tools, a camera, and several books. He carried no weapon. The journalist waited by the door. You intend to search for her. I intend to search for the future she saw, the one in which Earth and Mars survived together. You said it depended upon millions of choices. Then I should begin with one. What choice? To speak before either world fires. The journalist looked at the machine. You may arrive upon Mars before the invasion. That is my intention. You cannot breathe there. I have constructed a sealed apparatus. And if the Martians capture you, they already did in one future. And if you give them the knowledge that creates the invasion again. The time traveler placed his hand upon the lever. Then I must ensure that knowledge is not the only thing I bring. He pointed to the books packed beneath the seat. They contained human music, mathematics, biology, history, and language. Beside them lay a sealed container of water and soil. Not weapons. An introduction. The journalist moved closer. You believe you can negotiate with them? No. Then why go? Because certainty is the excuse used by every conqueror. The Martians were certain coexistence would fail. Humanity will soon become certain that Martian weapons are necessary for its defense. If no one enters the uncertainty between those beliefs, the next war has already begun. The clock above the fireplace reached 17 minutes past 9. The same time at which his previous journey had begun. The time traveler pushed the lever. The machine flickered. Before it disappeared, the journalist saw another figure seated behind him. A young woman with short dark hair. The vision lasted less than a second. Perhaps it was an optical distortion caused by the temporal field. Perhaps it was only memory. The machine vanished. On the laboratory floor lay two flowers. One was white. The other was red. Epilogue. The signal. Years passed without the time traveler's return. Humanity studied the Martian machines. Some discoveries improved medicine and transportation. Others became weapons. Nations created new artillery designed to strike enemies beyond the horizon. Astronomers watched Mars. For a long time, they saw nothing. Then, on a cold winter night, a green flash appeared upon its surface. Observatories across the world recorded it. Military leaders feared another launch. Telescopes were aimed toward the red planet. Ships were prepared. Cities tested alarms. No cylinder came. 3 days later, another flash appeared. It followed a mathematical pattern. A professor recognized the sequence as a series of prime numbers. Human scientists responded with electric lights, arranged upon an open field. Mars answered. The exchange continued. Numbers became diagrams, diagrams became symbols, symbols became the beginnings of language. Months later, a final signal arrived. It contained an image. Though incomplete, it clearly represented two worlds moving around the same sun. Between them stood a small geometric shape. The journalist recognized it as the time machine. Beside it were two simplified figures. One was human. The other had a large head and many delicate limbs. Below them appeared the image of two flowers. One white, one red. The journalist published the message without explanation. Some readers dismissed it as a fraud. Others believed it was a warning. A few understood it as an invitation. No one knew whether the time traveler had saved the future. But for the first time, Earth and Mars spoke before firing. And somewhere beyond the reach of ordinary clocks, a young woman named Weena walked beneath a sky that belonged to neither conqueror nor conquered. The end.